Well, hey, and welcome to a pretty somber episode of Beetle Dustino. A day I knew was probably on the way here soon. I've been feeling for a while. As I know, his health hasn't been doing great. But Brian Wilson, of course, passed today. News has been getting out there on it. 82. Uh, I had a feeling after his wife passed. I think last year. I think I said I feel like Brian probably isn't going to make it too much longer here. Be with us. So um, yeah, I've really in the last few years really just learned to respect Brian and his absolute genius. And me being a Beatles fan, I 100% attribute my fandom to the Beatles, uh, as the Beach Boys being my little conduit for it. I'm going to show this record. This is the only record I'm going to show, but this is my dad's old record of old Beat Up. Been with us forever. Not only the record that got me into the Beatles, the Beach Boys, but just pop music in general, rock and roll music. My dad would play this for me to no end when I was a kid. Um, I'm absolutely glad I still have it in the collection here. And, you know, I became a huge fan of the Beach Boys as a kid. It was all I listened to up until probably the 90s. All throughout the 80s, all I listened to was the Beach Boys. And we had an oldie station in town too, and we'd listen to that too. But of course, I was always looking for the Beach Boys to come on. And then I had all my Beach Boys cassettes and stuff, and obviously Little Deuce Coupe there, the record that Dad would play for me to no end there. I remember when he'd spin that, we'd listen to A side and B side, and then we'd get done, and I'd be like, Dad, play it again, and he'd play it again. So, and just as time progressed, of course, I got into the Beatles, and I really 100% attribute that to the Beach Boys, and of course, you know how much the two of them influenced each other, and hand in hand, for Rubber Soul inspired Pet Sounds inspired Sergeant Pepper's, down the road like that, and it just, without Brian Wilson, there wouldn't be a Lennon McCartney, and especially that inspiration keeping them going and so forth. And I've got away from the Beach Boys for a while, and when I got rediscovering them a few years back, I took it at a new approach, which was kind of listening to and paying attention to that post Pet Sounds era. And wow, what an era that is! Absolute fantastic. And I'm always so upset on how the record company treated them, that this is what they expected, this car songs and surf music and stuff, and never looked at them past that, the artisticness, where the Beatles were able to take that artistic level, with starting with Rubber Soul, Revolver, Sergeant Pepper's, pretty much every album past, that. And the Beach Boys always got so unfairly treated on that. And and with Brian's mental state and everything, and that I know didn't help, and the way the record company treated them didn't help what was going on with him and that. And it's just yeah, I mean, watch the documentaries, watch all that, and I encourage everybody to at least put on Pet Sounds today, if not a greatest hits or something of the Beach Boys, or just a Brian Wilson album in general. Several out there to listen to, and just listen to that, or watch one of the movies, pay tribute to him there. I absolutely love the Love and Mercy movie, love that song too, as I'm saying that now, that song's going through my head on that. Yeah, it's just a sad day on that. And I really kick myself that I've seen the Beach Boys touring band, Mike Love's band, like 3 times, and I've always said I really want to get out and see the Brian Wilson band and see what he's got going on. And he never came anywhere near me here as part of it, and I knew I'd lost my window there a year or two ago. I'm really been looking forward to, haven't really talked anything on the channel yet on this, but I'm planning on going to, Al Jardine's band is playing a big 4th of July show near me here, one of the southwestern suburbs of Minneapolis. And I am planning on, that's going to be my 4th of July. I'm going to be there. I said when I heard that and saw how close it was, I said, what better way to spend the 4th of July than listening to a Beach Boy, and, you know, playing Beach Boys tunes and that. So I think that show is going to be a lot more meaningful to me now, knowing that Al was always touring with Brian in these later years. So, you know, just getting a little closeness to that absolute genius there. And, you know, it's kind of a 1-2 punch this week because we also lost Sly Stone just a few days ago, and another just absolute genius there. You know, and it's just sad, you know, that big rock and roll band in the sky is just getting bigger and bigger and better and better. And now all the Wilson brothers are together up there, you know. So, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little emotional on this, but, you know, the Beach Boys really have meant something to me. Brian especially has really meant something to me. And, you know, and I just want to get a little video out there and just talk about it. Just pay my respects to the man, to the family, and just thank him for the wonderful music and, you know, introducing me to what they have introduced me to. Because like I said, I think without the Beach Boys, I don't think I would have got into at least rock and roll the way that I got into it. You know, maybe I might have got into it more modern era stuff, you know, if I hadn't discovered them when I did. And, you know, my journey would have been a completely different journey. And yeah, but anyways, I'm wrapping up because I didn't want to make this too long, and I didn't expect I was going to get this emotional talking about it. But yeah, I just wanted to get this out there, and my respects out to the family and to Brian. All right, listen to some Beach Boys. Peace.